to another edition of Talkable San Leandro, a series of community conversations with people in San Leandro who are making a difference. Today we have Lee Thomas, Council Member Lee Thomas of District 3. Thank you, Lee. And we're pleased to have Lee here. I want to thank you personally for running again.
Yep, thank you.
It's a lot of work. It's resources, time, and effort. So, and it enlivens our democratic process. So, thank you very much.
Yep,
Lee.
glad to be here.
Thanks. So, Lee, I've interviewed a few people. I'm kind of getting the swing of this. So maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
But you know, I always like to hear a little bit about the candidates. You know, the person, the kind of your younger life, your kind of trajectory, how you got here to San Leandro.
Okay.
And then we can talk a little bit about politics.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, you know, I born and raised in San Francisco.
Right.
Did all of my education in San Francisco. So everything.
And what neighborhood were you in?
So I lived in the Western Addition.
Right, okay.
So
yeah,
Western Addition, if anyone's familiar with the Western Addition,
Sure.
that's
Fillmore,
Eddie, Steiner, right around there. I went to Roosevelt Middle School.
Okay.
There. I went to Washington High School.
All right.
There. Played football in high school. Once thought I was going to play football in college, so I got to college and realized I was too small. So that dream was over. So I went to City College in San Francisco.
Okay.
And worked pretty much all my time through doing college and working a part-time job, sometimes full-time job, and going to City College, and eventually went to the University of San Francisco.
Oh, good.
So USF Don.
Right.
And so got my bachelor's degree in organizational behavior and leadership there.
Great. And then, and your migration over to this side of the bay, when did that take place?
Well, you know, I met my wife in San Francisco.
Okay.
We were both working at the YMCA.
Okay.
At the time there, and so we dated for a while, and you know, eventually I said, hey, you want to be my wife? And luckily she said yes to me. And
you were surprised,
we were
maybe?
surprised, but there we
surprise.
go. And my wife had lived over here since the 90s.
I see. Okay.
And we started looking for condos in San Francisco, and she said, we need to go to San Leandro.
Okay.
And I said, okay.
Smart lady.
And so
there you go.
I get to San Leandro, and all of a sudden there's sunshine in backyards, and I was sold.
Good. And so now you've been council member for 4 years. Tell us a little bit about how that's gone.
Sure. You know, well, I got into the council. The reason why I ran for council is I started sitting on boards and commissions in 2007.
Right.
And I sat on various boards and commissions, and when the seat opened up, I thought, well, who else should go for this seat but me after dedicating so much time to the city?
Right.
And I also thought about my two girls. We bought a house here. Our two girls were born here. And so we've already made an investment in the community, and I wanted to be able to have a say in regards to which way this community was going to go. And so I ran, and luckily I won, and here I am again running for re-election right now.
Good. Well, there's a lot of issues, as there always are, right. And you know, we could talk about potholes, and I'm guessing you're not for those. No one is.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the issues that comes up and is trying to rent control, and we have a growing homeless population and a growing working poor population as well. So what are your feelings about rent control? How do you think that impacts some of these other greater issues?
Well, you know, there's no doubt that we need to put as many people in the homes as possible. And what I believe right now is this is an inventory issue. We've got to get more homes built to put people in homes. And so for me, it's about what can the city of San Leandro do that's going to encourage developers to come in here and build all types of housing. We need affordable housing, we need middle class housing, we need high-end housing. We've got to be able to put multiple types of people in their homes. And so for me, right now, the issue is not about rent control. The issue is about inventory and how much we need to build housing and put people in the housing.
Right. You know, that's a developer issue, and we're built out in many respects. So we either have to go up because not much dirt around.
Right.
But so you see that. I know that we've had our issues trying to get a kind of a project started in the corner of Bancroft and Estudillo. But to the degree with regard to rent control, are you for rent control? Are you against rent control?
You know, I look at it like this once again. So we've got Oakland, we've got San Francisco, and we've got Berkeley with rent control.
Right.
And we still have people who need housing right now.
Right.
And so this is why I'm going to be pushing housing and development. We need to, as a city, we need to look at our zoning codes. We need to go back there. We need to see if we need to evaluate some of the zoning here in the city of San Leandro. we need to start looking about our permit process.
Right.
What do we need to do to streamline that permit process?
Okay.
And then we also need to start looking at some of our fees.
Right.
Once again, for me, this is an inventory issue. We've got to put people into homes.
Right, right. Okay. So, I guess another, Airbnb, I know that we have kind of have the moratorium on Airbnb. What are your feelings about Airbnb coming into our city? And are you, how do you feel about that?
I think neighbors have the right to live in a neighborhood that they chose to move into, or they chose to buy, or they chose to rent for that specific purpose. Not to live in a neighborhood that's going to be disrupted by people who don't have the same love and care about that neighborhood than you do. And this is, for me, this is one of the fundamental problems with non-hosted Airbnbs, which is when you have people who come in and buy homes and just to rent them out, you don't have people who come into your neighborhood and have that same love and care about your neighbors in your neighborhood.
Good.
So for me, non-hosted needs to go. I can support hosted though.
Yeah, good. All right, very good. Debt. This debt problem is a growing problem. It's serious. It's a problem that has been decades in the making.
Yes.
And it's a systemic problem. It looks like I went to pensiontracker.org and I saw out of 500 cities in California, we're 94th. 94th, the first being the worst, so 94. And so, what do you think the solutions are? What can we do as a small city with this kind of huge problem to at least mitigate it?
Well, I think one of the things you've already said, this is decades of problems here, right? And so we're not myself nor the council are not the first ones to address this issue. We've got previous councils before us that were also addressing this issue. One of the things is, since I've been on council, one of the things we did to try to combat this was putting an additional $15 million away into a fund so we can be able to try to support this process. Unfortunately, we don't have the control over CalPERS when they adjust the rates. And so it's important that as a city official and multiple local city officials, we've got to really start working with Sacramento. We need Sacramento's help on this because the cities can't do it by themselves.
Is there an opportunity for you to, as a council person, I'm guessing there must be working groups in Sacramento who are trying to address this problem. I mean, does our city get involved at that level at Sacramento?
Right. Well, yeah. Last time Assemblymember Bonta was here, and he spoke to us. This was mentioned at the dais from a couple of us, saying that we need your help with this. I think Sacramento is very aware of it. I think one of the good things we've got going here is recently I was just appointed to the state board for the League of California Cities. And I think that's going to be very beneficial to us because as we continue to tackle local control issues, that now puts someone in position here from the city of San Leandro to start really trying to figure out when we start to get the unfunded liabilities, they've got a voice on that board now. Okay.
All right. Well, another issue, the marina is, everyone has hopes for the marina to turn into something beautiful and interesting for San Leandro. We were going to break ground in 2017. That didn't happen. I know they're mitigating circumstances with global warming and rising ocean levels. But how do you see that process? Is it the right thing that we're doing there? What do you think about the marina?
Well, before getting elected, I sat on the commission there for 4 years.
Okay.
So I'm very versed in regards to what that project has been and what it's become right now. And I think we're doing the right thing. The marina there was costing us money every year. And right now we have an opportunity to take something that people always say is it's a diamond in San Leandro and really polish that diamond and make it into something beautiful here and make it something attractive and really make San Leandro a destination spot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to talk to the San Leandro citizenry about before we close up?
Well, I think the last 4 years I've been really proud of some of my accomplishments. I can tell you banning flavored tobacco was one of them. As you might know from the news now, the FDA has really stepped in and has become really concerned about flavors. And I'm glad to see that San Leandro was on the forefront of being able to do that. I'm glad to be able to say that I pushed that here. I'm glad to be able to say I was part of a council that, you know, as high as expensive as it is to live in San Leandro, that we pushed minimum wage faster than the state here in the city of San Leandro. Really looking out for our people.
Very good. Well, listen, I want to thank you very much for coming in and talking to us. And I want to say to our listening audience, thank you for joining Talkable San Leandro. And until we meet again, keep on talking. Less of this, more of this. We'll all be in a better place. Thank you.